Very good morning to all of you. So after a long time, I've seen you all guys, especially. Fine. So what we have learned in our previous lecture, that is all about the unit 2, right? That was a revision session, I hope, right? Array and string, that what we have seen. And now what we are going to do is we are starting with the new unit, which is inheritance, right? So what we are going to learn today is all about inheritance. Content programs, everything is taken from the complete reference by Herbert Schull. It is already mentioned. So once I'll check my connection. Okay. Fine. Okay, so you already know what is inheritance, right? You already know the meaning of inheritance. There would be a relation of a superclass with the subclass that is known as inheritance. Different types of inheritance. Anyone who remember this? Types of inheritance. Yes, correct. Yes. So which two type of inheritance is not supported by Java? Multiple, yes, correct one. And another one, which is not supported by Java. Due to multiple, the hybrid is also not supported, because in hybrid also it would be like A, then B, C, and then D. So first hierarchy is hierarchical inheritance, but the second one where we are having B, C, and from that we are having one class, so that is again not possible. So two types of inheritance is not supported directly by creating the classes, right? But it would be possible via interface, which we will learn in this unit only, right? So what is inheritance? Inheritance and object-oriented programming, it will allow you to define new classes from the existing classes, which is already there. From there, we are just extending a new class. Why? Because we don't want to write the code again and again, which is already developed, which is already created. Say, suppose in one class I'm having 50 methods, 50 methods, and I just need to create 2, 3 more methods into it. So what I'll do, I'll simply extend my existing class. So I will be having automatically those 50 methods into my class. Plus I'll add 2, 3 more methods. So I'll be having 52 methods, 53 methods, right? Different versions you know already. More versions are coming, right? Say suppose the Office 7 was there, then 10 was there. So we are not creating everything new. What we are doing, existing one is there, we are doing some few changes and we are having the new thing, right? So that is what we are doing. Say suppose in assignments and all, friends are writing, we are just doing the modification. So that is known as inheritance, right? So the procedure paradigm that focus on the designing methods, but the object oriented paradigm that will couple the data and methods together in one object. So the latest class that what we are creating, say suppose it is multi-level, I'm having class A, then class B, C, D, E, F, whatever the latest class I'm creating, that class object I'll create. So what will happen, that class would be the richest class, you know already, right? In C++ also we were having the same funda what we are having in Java, right? So here inheritance is an important and powerful feature for reusing the software, reusing the data. Inheritance enables you to define a general class. See, because whatever we are talking, that is in general. If I'm talking that you are copying the assignment, that I'm talking in general. Though there would be some of the classes who are doing their task by their own, but I'm talking about in general. So generalized one, that is your superclass. And if you are going into a specialization, if I'm talking about a particular student, right, so that is known as my subclass. But if I'm talking in general, that is my generalized class. So always generalized class would be your super class. Okay. Suppose I'm saying about the shape class. So shape, I'm generally saying the shape. But if I'm going for a particular class, that circle is a shape, triangle is a shape, rectangle is a shape. So you can understand in inheritance we are having is a relationship. Is a relationship. From subclass, you will talk about the superclass. If I'm talking about the animal class, your superclass is animal. Then I'm describing that a dog is an animal, right? Cat is an animal. So wherever I'm having a superclass, I can define general behavior and general attribute of that class. So I can say that in a superclass, any animal can eat. So that is normal behavior. So that would be a method, void eat. That is a simple method. Any animal can eat. So I will talk about the general statement. When I'll go to the specialization, dog can bark, but every animal cannot bark. Right? Clear this thing? Understanding when I'll go top to bottom, it will be specialization. When I'll come from bottom to top, it would be generalization. Generalized statement will be there. Okay. So top to bottom, specialization, bottom to top, it's generalization. Inheritance will enable you to define a general classes like a superclass, and later it will extend it to the specialized class. A superclass is also referred as a parent class, or you can say a base class, and a subclass is known as a child class or extended class or a derived class, anything you can say, right? A subclass inherits accessible data fields and methods. Here the word accessible is important. Why? Because if my superclass has declared those variable as a private one, then it is not accessible. So it won't be there in your subclass if it is a private one. If it is public or if it is protected or it is a default one, because here in Java we are having 4 access specifier: private, public, protected and default. If you are not writing anything, then which access specifier is that? Default, because you are not writing anything, and default is accessible only within the package, right? In that package, if any of the classes are there, they can access each other's data. Clear? So a subclass inherit all the properties which are accessible. They are not private in other meaning, right? So data fields and method from its superclass, and may also add the new data fields and methods, because in your own class you are doing something. If you are acquiring all the property of your father, so you will do something with that, no? So you will add your extra efforts, your property you will create. So you are the richest one because you are having your own property as well as your father's property. So you are richest one, right? In that manner. So same with the class, because my class A is having 5 attributes or 5 variables and 5 methods. It would be having only 10. But if I'm having a subclass of that class, means class B extends A, right? And I'm having my 2 more attribute and 2 more methods, so I'll be having 10 plus 2. Obviously, so it would be 2 plus 2, 4. So total 14 things I'm having in my class. That is why we are not creating object of the parent class. We are always creating object of the subclass. Why? Because there is no meaning to create the parent class object. Why? Because we can only access the 10 properties. We cannot access 14 one. If we wish to do so, I can create the subclass object. And once I'm creating a subclass object, no need to create the parent class object. Why? Because parent's property I can also access via the subclass object. Then why to create parent class object? Though it is allowed. I'm not saying that you will get an error. No, it is allowed. You can still create the object, but no requirement of that to create it. Right? So subclass usually contain more information and more methods than its superclass. Inheritance is used to model is a relationship. That what I've given you the example that dog is an animal, cat is an animal. So always you can say the arrow would be like this, not like this. Have you seen any example of inheritance where the arrow is like this? So you are saying that animal is a dog. No, that is wrong. Okay. You will always build a statement from sub to super. Inheritance is a mechanism in which the one object acquires all the property and behavior of a parent object. Why to use inheritance? First thing, because you want to change the definition of your superclass. Say suppose your superclass, your parent has given you something to inherit, you can say, right? Or a company or a factory. Say suppose your father is having one company, so you will do something, you will do some modification into it. Otherwise, what will happen? There is no change. What your father was doing, the same thing you are doing. But you are applying your knowledge, you are applying your efforts, and you are doing some modification into it, right? That is known as method overriding, because one definition is already created, one factory is already there, which owns by your father, but you are doing some of the modification into it. So means you are giving some new definition to your factory. So that is method overriding. You are not building a totally the new one, right? And you are not destroying the previous one. It's still there, but you don't want to change in that. But in a second copy, you are doing the changes. That is only the thing. So you can even access the newer one. You can even access the previous one, which is actually owned by your father. So a parent class and a child class, they both are having the void show method. You can even call new definition. You can even call the previous one. This is method overriding. And that you can only do if the inheritance is there. Because one definition I should be having, no, then only I can modify it. If it is a single class, then there is no concept of method overriding. If there is not inheritance, then also there is no method of overriding. अगर बाजू वाले का factory है तो उससे हमें क्या? Right? You are not concerned with that. You are not in relationship with that. You are having only relation with your parent. So if inheritance is there, then and only then method overriding is there. If class A is there, void show method is there. If class B is there, void show method is there. But it is not method overriding. वो बाजू वाले का घर है, ये हमारा घर है, क्या फर्क पड़ा? उसके पास भी void show, हमारे पास भी void show. So what? If class B extends class A, then and only then there would be method overriding. So there would be a relationship. Clear this thing? Yes or no? And the second, for the code reusability, of course, because we don't want to write each and everything again and again. If our father is having a factory, why to build the new one by your own? You don't have money for that. So already you are acquiring that property and you are extending it. That is a different thing. You are not building the new one, right? You are just running whatsoever your father was having. Clear this thing? So you are reusing that thing. So that is called reusability. Now what is the keyword? Keyword is exchange, right? In our C++, we were having that colon and so, right? So many things, they're the confusing one. But here it's very simple. Only you need to write extends keyword, that's it. So class B extends A. It means what? Class B is a child and A is the parent. Right? So here you will write subclass name extends superclass name. Okay? So always you have to remember at the last you will be having your superclass and at the very first you will be having your subclass. Don't reverse it. Now here that what we have discussed, that private variables won't be there in your class, right? So here the private variables in a superclass are not accessible outside of the class, right? Whether it is your child class or whether it is Bajuwala class, nobody can access your data because it's a private. Private means it is accessible in within a class. That's it. Outside of the class, it is not accessible. Clear? So therefore, they cannot be used directly in the subclass. But they can, however, be accessed or muted through a public ancestor or mutators if defined in a superclass. If I am having one variable private integer a, if I am having one variable private integer a, right? So I cannot directly access the value of a, which is not allowed, but indirectly how I can access it? Via getter and setter method. If you remember in C++ also, get a and set a. Such kind of two methods, if superclass has provided, then you can access the variable a. Otherwise, you cannot. Okay. So it is compulsory to provide such kind of methods. For one variable, exactly two methods, get and set. Another variable, again get and set. So if I'm having 5 private variables, then how many methods are required? 10, right? Getter and setter. For one variable, 2 methods, 10. These are the types of inheritance. Here, have you seen the arrow? Right? It's from bottom to top always because it is having easier relationship. So first is a single inheritance. Single means one parent, one child. It is known as single inheritance. Another example, multi-level. Grandparent, parent, child. Right? Class A, B, and C. That is multi-level. And the third one is hierarchical. One parent, many child. Though B and C are the siblings, but there is no relationship between that. So if class B is having any method, C cannot use it because they don't have any relation. Siblings jagate always, right? So they don't have a relationship. Okay, so they cannot access each other's method. But yes, B can access all the properties of A, C can access all the properties of A. That is fine. And what is not supported by Java? That is multiple and hybrid. Why it is not supported? What was the problem? If anyone is having any idea, what was the problem? Why it is not supported? Because say suppose I'm having two parent, right? And in my class A, I was having void show method. In class B also, I'm having void show. Both are exactly identical. Now there is one class C as a child class. And now we used to create object of which class? Always subclass. So I have created the object of subclass C equals to new C. Now I'm calling C.show. Which method will be called of parent A or parent B? That was the problem. We have seen that ambiguity, resolve, how to resolve it, and so there was a problem. We have just find some of the solution via that scope resolution operator that we need to print that class name and then we are calling the method. But that was the temporary solution. Okay, so because of that reason, now it is not allowed in Java. Though we can achieve such kind of hierarchy via interface. So that we will learn. We can still create such kind of hierarchy. But here we would be having interface A, interface B, and that we are implementing in our class C. That we can do. But via the class, it is not allowed. And here also, here in the first hierarchy, there is no problem. If I'm having class A, I'm having class B and C. Here there is no problem. Why? Because this is hierarchical inheritance in hybrid, right? But the problem is in the second part. Because again here it is multiple, class B, C, and from that class D is there. So hybrid is not supported. Clear? Due to multiple only. But the reason is only multiple inheritance. Due to that, hybrid is not possible. Right? So it is not supported in the Java via the classes. I hope the connection is. So is it clear? Yes or no? Yes, Rahul. Rahul Yadav. Any question? Okay. It's clear, right? Fine. So here in some programming language, it will allow you to derive a subclass from the several classes, right? So like C++, they are providing this feature. That is fine. But Java is not providing it. So this capability is known as multiple inheritance. You are deriving one class from the several classes, right? It is not exactly more than 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. You can have any number of classes. It was there in C++, but now in Java, it is not supported. So Java, however, does not allow multiple inheritance. And a Java class may inherit directly from only one superclass. Right? Exactly one superclass would be there. Not more than one is allowed. This restriction that is known as single inheritance, obviously because I'm having only one parent. So single inheritance is there. If you use the extend keyword to define a subclass, it will allow only one parent class. So here what is not allowed? Yes. So here if I'm having class A, I'm having some of the methods here, and now I'm writing class B that extends A. So only one superclass I'm writing here. If I'm having class C also, so I cannot write like this. I cannot write like this, right? The comma and another class, no. Exactly one superclass will be there. So this is not allowed. Right? Okay, so this is what single inheritance, a very simple basic program. Single inheritance, many of the times in a theory, it would be asked that you have to explain the single inheritance with examples. So you will find the simplest example, right? So this is the what simple example I will give you. Class animal is there, right? I'm having only one method which is void it because any animal can it. So you are writing generalized statement. If here you are having a class car, what are the general facility which would be there in Nano also and which would be there in Rolls Royce also? General facility. You are talking about the generalization. It would be having 4 wheels. It would be, and it is not necessary. I mean, if it would be a Lamborghini, not exactly 4 wheels. So that is a bad idea. What would be the general characteristics of a car? We can drive. Very simple. We can drive because if we have purchased, we will drive it. Right? Then what are the attributes? It would be having a color. Any car would be having a color. It would be having the engine number or the chassis number or whatever it is. So such kind of general things which is applicable for Nano also, or it would be applicable for any BMW or Audi also. Right? That general statements you are putting into a superclass. Then you are extending a classes again and again, right? You are going downside means you are going for the specialization. Now after some of the classes you are saying that okay, this facility is only there in BMW, not in any other. Right? So that you are talking, you are a specialization, you are applying for that class. You are describing some facilities as a method, that behavior for your class. Right? That's what you are doing. So here I'm having a class animal, any animal can eat. So I've just written a single method in the class, right? Void it, and simple statement that it is. Okay. Now I'm having another class which is dog. Class dog extends animal. So dog is an animal, right? And here the special characteristics of dog, it can bark. Right? So barking is not for all the animals. No, it is special thing into this class. So we are writing void bark. Okay, and some of the statements. Now we are creating another class which is having public static void main. I'm creating object of my latest subclass which is dog here. So I'll create the object of dog, and via that object I'll call that method. Simple. This is known as single inheritance. Now we'll see one example that is for the access. How you can access the things in inheritance. I hope I'm audible to you guys, right? For the online sessions too. Because I'm roaming from here and there. Yeah, audible, right? Fine. Inheritance is so difficult that you need to discuss. So here is a class A, right? In that I'm having one variable integer I. If I'm not writing anything, it means it's a default access specifier, right? It would be accessible within the same package. Then I'm writing that this variable is the private one, means integer j is the private one, right? And so here I'm just showing you the two variables. One is the private one and one is the default one. Now here I'm having one method void set ij. Here I'm not using constructor right now because that topic is the next one, right? Because how you can call the parent class constructor and all, so that would be again the another issue. So I'm using right now here a method void set ij. I'm setting the methods for this I and j. I'm having this formal parameter x and y, and I'm simply initializing this I and j. Done. Now here we are saying that a is not, this variable j is not accessible from the class A. Why? Because it is private. Obviously, the private variables are not accessible outside of its class. So I'm having another variable here that is total, because I want to make the total of I and j in my class. I'll do something at least with my class. So I'm doing the total. Now here I'm having one method sum. Inside that I'll do the total. Now I'm writing here total equals to I plus j, which will give me an error. Why? Because j is not accessible here, right? J is not accessible here. So you cannot write like this directly I plus j. No, it is not allowed. So now what is the solution for this? What I can do? If I want to access here the j, no? So what I can do here? Either I can make it as a default, or we can say the public one. Okay. Second option. If I don't want to do that, fine. Then second option. Yes, somebody is saying yes via method, right? Via get and set. So super class need to provide getter and setter method to access it. So what I need to write here? Here I'll write void set I. Okay. So I'm already having a setter method. So what I need to provide two more methods, which is for get. Set is already there. Set is already there. Now what is for the get? Get I. What would be the return type? Int. Okay. And at the last, what I'll write here? Return I. Simple. So this is what we are doing. Same again, integer get j. What I need to write? Return j. Simple. So this is what we can do. And we can call this method, and indirectly we can access the value of I and j. This is what we can do. Now you can imagine for single variable you need to provide two methods, right? Here in a set, what we have done for all the methods, for all the variables, we have provided only one method. Fine. So that is okay. But for the get method, you have to write a single one, right? Which will return a single value. I hope this thing is clear. Okay. So that what we can do is, I'm not changing my original copy. So here a class member that has been declared as a private will remain private to its class. So it is not accessible by any code outside of its class, including subclasses. Though it is its subclass, but still they cannot use those variables. Okay. And here we are creating our subclass object and we are trying to call our set ij. So set will be there, value of I will be 10, value of j will be 12. That is fine. But here in sum, there would be a problem because in void sum method, what I have used j variable. So it won't be simply executed, it will show you an error. Right? Compiled and error. So this is what about the how you can access. Okay. Now what I'll show you is multi-level inheritance. Multi-level means I'm having more than one level. So at the very first, I'm having a class animal, right? In class animal, I'm having void eat method, which was as it is. Now I'm having class dog, which extends the parent class animal. Okay, it would be having another method which is bar. Now I'm having another class which is baby dog. It cannot bar. Right? So I'm having one more method which is VIP. Okay, so we are simply writing its VIP. Here, so I'm having multi-level animal, dog, baby dog. And these three levels. And I'm creating another class. I'll create the object of a latest subclass. So which is my class here? Baby dog, right? So I'll create the object of it. So I've created object of that d equals to new baby dog, and via that d I am accessing all three methods. Why? Because my subclasses are having all the properties of my superclass. That is it. Okay? Clear this thing? So I'll show you another examples also. Another example of single inheritance. Here I'm having a class A. I'm having two variables I and j. I'm having one method which is show ij, which will simply print the value of I and j. Here, this class is over. Another class, class B, which extends A. So A is your superclass, B is your subclass. In that, I'm having another variable integer k. So here you cannot see, but here you are having actually three variables, not one variable. Why? Because you are acquiring the property of from your superclass, right? So you are having three variables I, j, and k. And here two more methods. One is void show k, which will simply print the value of k. And now what I'll do with these three variables, I'm having I, j, and k. So I'll do something. So I'm here doing summation. Another method, void sum, which will simply add I plus j plus k. And it will do the summation. After this, in this single inheritance class, I'm showing you that what is allowed. See, you can create here object of A. Okay. So here what you are doing is you are creating the object of superclass. This is the only program where we are creating object of both the classes just to show you that it is allowed. It is not giving you any kind of error. You can do it, but it is meaningless. Right? It is meaningless to do this. Otherwise, it is allowed. So, if into the MCQ, it is asked to be like you can create the superclass object or not. Right? So, it is allowed. So here I am creating object of class A and object of class B, means super and sub both. Now we have not given any of the value to our variables I and j. So what I'll do first, I'll initialize the value via the object of my superclass. So superclass object dot I equals to 10, j equals to something 20, and now I'm calling the method super object dot show ij, because my superclass A was having two variable, one method. Two variable I have initialized, one method I have called. The work is over. Now B will come into the picture. Now I'm having sub object dot I, j and k, because class B is also having three variables I, j and k. So for I, j and k, I'll set the value. Now I'll call the method for printing I and j, so that I can call show ij. Now I need to print the variable, that is k, so I'll call that method show k. And now I'm having another method which will do the summation, so that I'll call and it will be printed. Right? But generally you are not doing such kind of task by your own. Right? You are always providing method for variable initialization. But this is just, I am showing you a very basic example. If you have not created superclass object, then also it will work, right? So no need to do that. So now onwards, we are not creating object of superclass. Only we will create the object of subclass. I hope this is clear. Done? Any doubt in this? What about the others? No doubt. Fine. Okay. After this, hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical means, you know, right? One parent, many subclasses are there. They all are the siblings. And we are generally creating the object of subclass. So say suppose I'm having one parent A and I'm having three child class B, C and D. Which class object I need to create? I'm having superclass A, I'm having B, C and D. They all three are the child class. Now which class object you will create? For all the child class, right? Because you need to create for all the classes. In hierarchical is the only class, hierarchy you can say, where you have to create all subclasses object. That is very obvious, right? So here I am having class animal, right? Void it method, same example I have taken. Then there is one class dog, which will extend the class animal. It would be having its special characteristics like bark. Now I'm having another class cat, and cat is also extending class animal. So ultimately, what would be the hierarchy? Animal is here, dog is here, and cat is here, right? That is known as hierarchical inheritance. Now it's having one method. Now we are simply printing. Now another class we have taken, and I have created only one class object, which is cat. You need to create for dog also, but here I have created only for one class, which is cat. Cat C equals to new cat. Now here C class can call its own method, which is meow. We are calling C dot meow. It can also access its parent class method, which is eat. They can, but now they are accessing its sibling class method, means dog class method, which is bark. So they cannot. Obviously, it will give you compile time error, right? So siblings are not having relationship. You can only access from your parent. So parent-child relationship is only there. Clear this thing? So if you wish to access this bark, you have to create the object of dog. Dog D equals to new, and then you can access. So each and every subclass, you have to create the object. I hope this is clear. So any doubt in this? Everyone? Okay, fine. Now I'm showing you another example, which is the important one. Somebody has asked me about that reference, I think, from your class, or I don't remember, that a parent class can refer to their child class or not. So they can. The same thing we have seen even at the time of anonymous class, if you remember. Before creating that anonymous class, what I've done, I've written class B extends A. And I was writing A equals to new B. So what it means, I'm writing again, if you don't remember it. Here I was having class A, right? And here I'm having class B, which extends class A, right? And here I want to give another definition for my method, right? So I was having void show method here. I was giving another method here, another meaning to my method here, right? Here also it was void show. I was not writing the whole things, but let's write it. Now in another class where it's a public static void main, right? Here what I was doing it, if I'm creating object of A, that A equals to new A, and via this object A dot show, if I'm calling my method, which show method will be called? Class A's show method will be called, means this one. Okay. If I'm creating the object of B and I'm writing this A dot show, then B class show method will be called. And now what I was doing is, I was doing like this, if you remember. A equals to new B. Which class method will be called? B. Why? Because always you need to see whenever there is a new keyword, right? That class method will be called. Simple. Remember this. Here I am writing new B, right? So object of B class has been created, and here I am having class A. So class A means you are just creating a reference variable of class A, which is pointing right now to the object of class B. This is what this sentence is having a meaning. Okay, so this is what the reference. But here the problem is what? Please understand this thing, otherwise you won't get anything. Huh? Please pay attention here. Stop talking. So here class A is having 3 attributes. Class A, which is a super class, which is having only 3 attributes. And we are creating reference variable of our super class. Leave it. Now I'm having class B. Class B is having 6 attributes. means 6 different variables they are having. 3 which is there from the parent class and 3 from its own class. So total 6. Total 6, right? Now if my superclass reference variable is pointing to my subclass, means to the child class, then superclass reference variable can only access whatsoever the variable is there from its own class. Means only 3 variables, because the other 3 variables, it is actually property of your subclass. You cannot access it. It is something like your father is having the property 50 lakh. 50 lakh he has given to his son, right? Now son is having this 50 lakh which is there from the parent, as well as he has earned by his own, that is another 1 lakh rupees. So it is total 51. But if now the father class, your parent class is having a reference and he is asking for the money from the child, so he can only seek his 50 lakh. He cannot ask for that extra 1 lakh. Why? Because that 1 lakh is actually, owner of that 1 lakh is his son, right? No, so he cannot ask from his son that you can give me your money. Clear this thing. Don't write such kind of examples in exam. Okay, I'm just explaining this so it would be more clear. Okay, so that is only here in the reference, as a reference variable, that which reference, if it is referring to subclass, that what property he can access. Okay, and for that I'm showing you one example. Do you remember that? Before that, I need to show you another example. Okay. Here, yeah. So, do you remember this example, class box, which was having 3 variables, width, height, and depth, right? And I was having one of the copy constructor into it. So, right now I'm not explaining this thing, right? Again. And if you wish, I can explain it, but you know already, right? Then it was having one parameterized constructor, means 3 parameterized constructor, right? Here it was no argument constructor. Then we were having one more constructor which is for cube. Because if your box is cube, then its width, height, and depth, all these 3 dimensions will become same. That is all. So for that we were having another constructor, and you were finally calculating volume of the box. This was one class. Now here the concept of inheritance. So I am extending another class from this. I am making one child class from this. So here I am having one class box weight, which will extend the box class, right? So here I am having one more variable which is a weight, because I am having one box, and what is the weight of this box? One more variable which is weight. So total in this box weight class I am having 4 variables, not 3 variables, right? Sorry, not 1 variable but 3 variables which I am acquiring that property from my parent class. So 3 plus 1, total 4 variables. So I need to set the value for this 4 variables. So here I am having this box weight where I am having this 4 variables, and I am setting the value for this 4. Though further in our very next lecture we will use the super keyword. So I don't have to write this 3 lines again and again, because these 3 lines I have already written in my super class here. So no need to write the same thing again and again. So that we will learn in the next lecture. But right now what is the concern is, here we are setting for all the 4 variables that value whatsoever the user is giving. You can see over here we are creating object of box weight. because that is my subclass, no? So here I'm creating object and here I'm passing 4 values: 10, width, 20, height, 15, depth, and the last value that is for the weight, the weight of my box. Now here you can even include all the constructors, right? But for the simplicity, I have only used one, which is 4 parameterized constructor. You can still use over here that copy constructor, default constructor, then for cube wala constructor, and so on, right? But right now, for the simplicity, I have created one class box weight, which is my child class, and it's having one more variable, and I'm setting all the variables. Okay, that's it. Now here, you are creating 2 objects, you are passing 2 values, you are calculating the volume, because volume method, in that they are only using 3 variables: width, height, and depth. In volume, there is no role for the weight. Okay, so we are simply calculating the volume and we are printing what is the weight of the box. So we are writing my box 1 dot weight here. We are simply printing it. Clear this thing. Same way we are doing for the another object, and we are printing just the weight, what is weight. So that's it. This is what the simple program, which is showing you single inheritance. Parent class is a box and the child class is box width. Very simple example. Yes or no? Some of you are here like this and this, and so they are getting bored. Yeah, but I have to finish this topic. I can understand you are overburdened, overloaded with this concepts, but this is the last one. We will not be able to finish this. Fine. We will continue in the next lecture. Fine. You can write it down your numbers into the chat. So please write down your numbers in the chat. You can write your numbers and you will leave the meet. Anjali, Prachi, Richa, Tanzil, Tulsi, Vedant.